considering the modern age and considering how, there's kind of militant atheists, new atheism, people often say, why don't we just throw religion out, that regardless of whether it's, I don't know, they would say sometimes useful, or even be so bold as to say never useful, like Christopher Hitchens, religion poisons everything. I'm personally, I find that abhorrent as a slogan. I just don't think that's a rational, claim, subtitle, whatever you want to call it. Why do you think we should not abandon religion?
There are two reasons. Firstly, because it helps individuals, and secondly, because it helps society. Just to go back on those, helps individuals. A lot of people find comfort in religion, whether it gives them a sense of identity or a sense of purpose or a sense of not being alone. I mean, it's a big universe out there. And, you often ask yourself, who am I and what am I doing and what's the point of it all and where am I going? And people can easily feel very lost. And religion provides answers. Now, some people will not everybody will like those answers, or not one particular religion's answers, but for some people, it gives them a sense of who they are and where they're going. And it grounds them in a certain rootedness. And secondly, it's not just about the individual, it's about society. Now, it's certainly true that in the past, religion has, been responsible for some awful things. But no more than secular society has been responsible, because, you could say that, that the greatest villains of all were all the atheists, your Hitler and your Mao Zedong and your Stalin and your Pol Pot. But, religion can do good, whether it's sort of hospices or places for lepers in Africa, or drug rehabilitation centres in London, or food banks. Not that other people don't do those as well, but religion has actually often been in the forefront of a lot of charity work. And much more today, I think, when we've got a much more, I suppose, kinder and maturer type of religion, we have to admit, than in the past, then the religion is a force for good. Not the only one, but it's certainly an important one.
Yeah, the atheist point, and how throughout history there's been atheists who have kind of used it apparently and things like that. I've always found that kind of a mixed bag, because when I've tackled that question initially, I was like, yeah, that seems fair, and then I was thinking, well, actually, atheism, maybe this is disputed, and I can get your thoughts on this. Like, atheism is simply a lack of belief in an active disbelief or a lack of belief in God or gods. And that's all it is. Whereas theism is a whole worldview, whereas atheism is quite literally not. So I guess the conclusion I've come to at present is it wasn't necessarily atheism as such. It was perhaps that they felt like they had no moral responsibility. Would you personally make that distinction, or do you actually think atheism itself, the title, is appropriate to use as a consequence of such things, or do you think it is because they were aware that there's no higher consequence for their actions?
No, I wouldn't say that they were ghastly people because they were atheists, because there's many very saintly atheists.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that in a non-religious society, people can be just as brutal as, unfortunately, people were in previous religious societies. And, it just behoves all of us, when we look at history, whether we're religious or not, to sort of look in the mirror and say, what's our object? What are we doing? Are we helping? Are we harming? And some people will find religion as a very good tool, if you like, for personal direction, family unity, and social cohesion.
Yeah, I certainly agree that religion offers that kind of, not only, I guess, existential consolation, but practical guidance and how to live. I'm agnostic atheist, but I still genuinely believe that the implications of atheism aren't good at all. They aren't something that we should cheer about. I mean, Nietzsche understood this with his God is dead. Atheism isn't something to write home about. It's quite a horrific implication, existential implication. But of course, because I'm not personally convinced, I can't kind of escape. I can't, as much as I don't want that to be true, I can't escape, being a disbeliever.